TFA fam, what is up? What is happening? We're Sunday, week 13. Kind of a weird slate of games this weekend. Where there's actually a lot of totals that are pretty high. I think there's like 4 or 5 games that are over 45 points, which is the first time we've seen that maybe all year. But if it hasn't, it's been a while since we've seen that. So there should be a lot of good games today. So obviously, we are only one more week until the fantasy playoffs. So for a lot of people, this week is crucial to making the fantasy playoffs. So let's get into it and get to some of these
Yeah.
questions, answering all of your start sit questions. First up, Jacob, Amari Cooper or Christian Watson, half point PPR.
I'm gonna go Watson. I just have no idea what to expect from Joe Flacco. Like I, I really don't. Obviously, Jordan Love has been up and down. The KC defense has been really good, but I'm still going to go Watson here. I'd rather take the shot with him after seeing how they used him and got him involved pretty early on last week.
Yeah, I agree, especially with Joe Flacco as quarterback. Like, how do you feel about that? I mean, I know there was a couple games last year where he had 300-yard passing games, but he threw 0 touchdowns in those. So I don't know. Jacob again, Chase or Nico? This is gonna be Nico for me.
Nico.
I've sort of flipped because a little bit earlier in the week, I actually had Tank Dell as a top 10 wide receiver. I've actually moved Tank Dell down. I have some concern with the injury he's dealing with. Sounds to be like it's more than what he's going to play through it, but that worries me. And so I'm actually higher on Nico Collins now. I moved Nico Collins up into the top 12. So I really like Nico Collins here in this matchup against the Broncos. And then lastly, Javonte, start 2, Javonte, Zach Moss, Hollywood, or Deontay.
First 2 for me.
I'm gonna go Moss and Deontay Johnson.
Deontay would be my third pick. I think they're close. I just like the volume that Javonte is likely to see.
Yeah,
Not
he's
as good as
undefeated.
not as good of a matchup, but I'm gonna chase the volume there.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Zach Moss is so tough. I mean, season long, it's complete. Obviously, if you have him, you're probably playing him in a matchup. But I know there's been a lot of talk about like citing that. Well, look what they did the last time they played in this matchup, and it's true. He did. He's had 195 total yards, 2 touchdowns, but the Titans' run defense has gotten better. It went through a spell where it wasn't good. Now it's back to being pretty damn good, and they have their second rush DVOA. They are they're second over the last 4 games in stuff rate, and so the question here is like volume, right? Because there's nobody else there. He's going to see a ton of touches. He isn't heavily involved in the passing game, so that is a little concerning for me, especially in a full PPR. But I still think you got to play him, and so yeah, I think you just got to play Moss. It's tough, but
Yeah.
Jacob Cup, Ridley Stevenson, sit 1. I'm gonna sit Cup.
I'm gonna set up. Who would have thought?
Yeah, it's just
He
with
he's
like, go ahead.
no, just okay. He's not been good, and obviously that ankle I think is more of a problem than what they're letting on. He was I can't remember how early on it was in that last game, but we saw him hobble off, get that ankle taped back up pretty early on. Um, so I don't know. I can't go back there.
Right. Yeah. And then I mean Ridley's been playing much better with Zay Jones back, which we talked about. And then Stevenson is a really strong play. He's getting the usage he saw last year when Damian Harris was out. If you remember, whenever he was seeing a huge target share, he's back to getting that. And that's kind of what we've been waiting for. And so I just really like Ramondre Stevenson today. Borderline top 12 running back for me. Michael, pick a running back at a flex. Monty McLaurin, Hall, Achan, or Warren. Man, this is tough.
Monty for sure for me. And then for me personally, it comes down to whether or not you want to take a swing here. If you want to take the swing, the obvious choice is Achan, right? Like that Commanders defense is dreadful. It's gotten worse with them trading away their two pass rushers. But then you bring in question like what happens if the Dolphins jump out to a quick lead, which they're likely to do. Do they kind of just give Achan maybe like 5 touches instead of 10? And just to hold him back like one more week to make sure he gets out healthy. And the other one for me is going to be Jaylen Warren going up against a Cardinals defense that's got shredded on the ground. Obviously, we saw what happened with Kyron Williams in his first game back last week. Obviously, splitting touches with Najee is not ideal, but I think both of them, both Najee and Warren, get there this week. So again, Monty for sure. Achan, if you want to take a swing, like let's say you went up against, CeeDee Lamb on Thursday night and you kind of just want to swing for the fences, or the safer option for me is going to be Warren.
I'm going to go with Achan. I'm moving up to a top 10 running back this week. So all the reports out from McDaniel were that he is 100%. That last week he could have played. The only reason they didn't play him is because they wanted him to be 100% before they put him back out there. He is now 100%. We know how explosive he could be. Obviously, it's a little bit boom or bust. Obviously, it's a small sample size with him, but we know how explosive he can be, and this is a good matchup against the Commanders. Commanders have struggled in all facets of their defense. So I'm going to swing for the fence and go Achan. And then the real question between is Monty and Warren. And the tough part for me with Monty is earlier in the week I really liked him, but now I still like him. But with Chris Olave being activated and playing from the concussion protocol, it changes the scenario first. Because before it was, man, they have nobody. How are they going to move the ball? The Lions should be able to crush them, which is a good game script for Monty. Well, I don't know if that's so much the case now with them having Chris Olave. Can they keep this game close? Because if they can, then that's going to bring Jahmyr Gibbs into a much better spot and being able to see any opportunities. And so I've actually lowered David Montgomery down to an RB2. So it comes down to him or Warren, because Warren is in an incredible spot. The Cardinals have just been absolutely gashed on the ground pretty much all year. I mean, we just saw Kyron Williams go nuclear against them. And so it's really tough not to play one of these Pittsburgh running backs today. I did see on a question coming up in a couple here by Alexis talking about this game, this Arizona and Pittsburgh game. It says chance for a few downpours. If and when we see a downpour move through, winds will likely pick up and could gust over 20 miles an hour. I don't think, if that, when that comes, but it doesn't seem like for the most part the winds for the game are going to be anything crazy. You're looking at 10-mile-an-hour winds. So if a storm does come through, then maybe that's what happens. But right now, that the storm that looks like it would go through would be around 3:00. So I mean, you're talking about by the end of that game. So it's not overly concerning in terms of the weather for that game. It does have, in terms of roto grinders, the NFL, the weather that's really good to go look at, every single week to see what's going on. It has like a yellow orange right now. The only game that's an orange is the Chargers and the Patriots game, which rain looks to be widespread and consistent. I expect moderate rain basically all game. That will cause some issues for the offense, even with light winds. But then the other game is kind of in between, is in the same area, Atlanta and the Jets. Definitely still wet through the heaviest of the rain. We'll be clearing around kickoff. We'll still be dealing with fairly consistent light to moderate showers for most of the game, drying out a bit at the end. So those are the only two games I think we really have to worry about. But I'm gonna go with Monty here. It's really close between him and Warren. But Warren and Najee obviously split touches, 50-50. And so it's a little bit lower on it. Not a ton, but I'm gonna go Achan and I'm gonna go Monty. So, and then Alexis Chris Olave is playing. I started him over Garrett Wilson. Yes.
Kevin, is that injury report you put together? Is that all done?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have it here. So just so we can touch on injuries with Alexis bringing this up. Obviously, the inactives and doubtful: Jonathan Taylor, Shaheed, Aaron Jones, McKinnon, Demario Douglas, Dalton Schultz, and Michael Wilson questionable, but expect to play. Jaden Reed, Traylon Burks. I haven't seen anything on him. I know he started to get some practices in. I think he's truly questionable, but Jaden Reed expect to play. And then the active slash expected to be actives: Olave, Brees Hall, Tank Dell, Trey McBride, Chris Godwin is a game time decision. ETN, Marquise Brown, Keenan Allen, and Noah Brown are the injuries to know about for Week 13.
Yeah, I think Jaden Reed plays. They talked to him at late in the week, and he
Yeah.
said that basically he's been playing through this injury since the Chargers game. Yeah, he just took a big hit, so I don't know if it's bruising or something like that he's dealing with, but he is expected to play. So I'm not really worried about him. He got in practice on Friday, so that was positive to see. So, but he's been playing through the same injury, so I don't see a scenario where he doesn't play. But yes, Chris Olave turns into now a almost he's a borderline top 12 wide receiver this week. So this is where I was referring to with the weather in this Cardinals game. Big wins expected, I think. But would you still start Patty Fry over Ingram? I would probably go Ingram, but it's not because of the weather.
I'm going to go Patty Fry.
It does make sense. I do like Patty Fry quite a bit today. It's just I just slightly prefer.
Yeah,
Uh,
they're close. They're really close.
and we got a question here from AO with a super chat. Appreciate you, AO. Conklin or Brevin Jordan with Goddard out? Here's the tough part with Brevin Jordan. Um, with them having Noah Brown back, we're likely to have Noah Brown back. They're going to have this is going to be the first time we've seen them all healthy all year. We actually started to see Dalton Schultz drop in terms of just opportunity. Once we got Nico and Tank Dell back at the same time, but now you're going to have Robert Woods, you're going to have Noah Brown, the running backs. So like, where does Brevin Jordan fall in terms of the target pecking order? It's a little bit harder to project for him. So I think I would go Tyler Conklin. I don't feel great about it. It's the
Yeah.
it's the Jets with Tim Boyle playing, but I think Brevin Jordan probably has a higher likelihood of scoring a touchdown just because of when you have CJ Stroud at quarterback, being able to find one on the goal line or something like that, especially with Tank Dell, being injured. But I don't know. I just think Conklin probably has a little bit higher path to seeing more targets than Brevin Jordan.
Yeah, I agree.
Appreciate you, AO. I think we were right here. Yeah. ET, good morning. Very happy week 13. My question is non PPR. Would you start Stevenson over Mostert given the matchup of match with volume opportunity with A Chain back? Yes, I would start Stevenson over Mostert.
I like Mostert over Stevenson still, but it's really close. It's really close for me.
Harold, Hollywood, Hunt, or Jaden Reed in a standard league? I'm going to go with Jaden Reed here.
Yeah, I'm still gonna go Jaden Reed in the standard. I think he probably has the highest touchdown upside out of that group. Hollywood hasn't practiced at all this week with his heel injury. He's expected to go, but if shout out Penn State, great. Joey Porter Jr. has been locking fools down. So if he gets that shadow coverage on Hollywood, I think that could be a problem.
Yeah. Phantom 109, full point PPR. Start one in the flex. Javonte, Singletary, or Josh Downs.
Oh boy. Slightly lean toward Javonte. Really like this group though.
Yeah. So looking at the group, right? So Javante, he is game. He's a little game script dependent. I mean, he still saw 25% of target share last week, so he's still going to be involved. But if they were to get down big, you would then see probably more Samaje Perine than Javante. So it really kind of depends on game script there. Josh Downs is at a good spot here against the Titans, coming back from his injury, but it's still a good matchup. And then you have Devin Singletary, who is in probably the best spot of all of these because the Broncos, while their defense has turned around, they have still been terrible against the run this year. And so that hasn't changed. So Singletary is in a really good spot. Dameon Pierce is back, handling more touches, so that is a little bit worrisome. I think overall, I'm going to go with Javante. I think the Broncos can keep this game close, and he's still seeing pass catching work, which is a positive. So I think I lean Javante here, but it's close between the three of these guys. I really like all three of them actually today. So, and then a few more questions here from. Also in that same question, Juwan Johnson is available. Yes, I would play Juwan Johnson over Conklin or Brevin Jordan. There,
Yeah.
AO, and he said Higbee as well, but I would still play Juwan Johnson. I don't like him as much with Chris Olave being back, but he was
Still
start
more than
yeah,
yeah.
still more than these two other options. Or the third option because you also have Tyler Higbee that's in there as well. But I would play Juwan Johnson over all three of those guys if it was me. So yes, I would pick up Juwan Johnson and go with Juwan Johnson here. There, AO. Appreciate that. And then where are we at here? Right here. Alexis. Chase, Stevenson, Hunt, Cooper, Hopkins, pick 2. This is going to be the first 2 for me, Chase and Stevenson.
Yeah.
JR, what's up? None of Grandpa's old cough medicine this morning. Do I drop the Browns defense for the Jags, Chargers, or Rams, or just stay put? Doesn't even matter. I would hold the Browns.
Yeah, I would still go Browns. I mean, they're going to be missing Denzel Ward, but Myles Garrett is playing. But I would still slightly lean Cleveland.
I think if the next up would be the Chargers that I would definitely take a look at there. Going up against Bailey Zappi.
Yeah.
Truth teller, I messed up not starting DK. Need a running back and a flex. Kirk, Swift, Brees. Stevenson's locked in for this week, or you think otherwise? I don't think otherwise. And then the running back between Swift and Brees Hall. I'm going to go Brees Hall.
I'm going to go Swift. I still want the better offense.
And then the flex.
Brees.
I'm going to go Christian Kirk. I got an open roster spot with Taylor in my IR spot. Should I get another defense to start this week, or for next week? I get Cleveland right now. Atlanta Rams, any of it? No, I would just stick with Cleveland for now.
Yeah.
If I'm going to add anybody to that open roster spot, which I think you should, look at adding like a. Okay, there we go. Or should I get a player like Curtis Samuel, Dobbs, or Noah Brown? Yeah, I mean, I think if Curtis Samuel's sitting out there, you probably pick him up. I think he's the one that makes most. I know Noah Brown, but we haven't seen this offense with all of them healthy, with all of their wide receivers healthy. It's always been in conjunction with somebody else being out. And so I don't really know how this is going to break down for Noah Brown, what the opportunity is going to look like, target share is going to look like for Noah Brown. So I'd probably lean towards Curtis Samuel. If you're not going to pick up one of those guys, I'd be looking at adding some running backs that that could be in a good that could end up being like league winning types like that. I want to stash on my bench like a Michael Carter, something like that. That if something were to happen to somebody, he would be the guy. So. Gorilla Kid, what's up? Picked up Jake Moody. Should I hold or swap for Sanders, Koo, or Gay? I would hold. I would play Jake.
That's all
Moody.
you can.
Well, I mean, to me, it just comes down to opportunity and, or not opportunity. It comes down to the type of offense they're in for this week. Jason Sanders, obviously for Miami, is in a good spot. Jake Moody is also, this matchup against Philadelphia that has very high shootout potential, and the same goes for this Washington game as well. Both of these games have really high totals, so it comes down to both of these two for me. I would just slightly lean towards Jake Moody on the road against Philadelphia. And then Roger, full PPR, Warren or Achane. This is going to be Achane for me.
Yeah, like I said earlier, Roger, this comes down to like whether or not you want to take the swing. If you want to swing for the fences, I'm going Achane. If you want someone who is or Achane, excuse me, if you want someone who is a little bit safer, in my opinion, I would go Warren. I really like both this week, though.
I agree. C-Crip. I need two wide receivers at a flex. Full PPR. Cup, Evans, Swift, Ridley, Stevenson, or Moss.
Evans, Ridley.
And then it's going to be Zach Moss for me.
Moss.
Mike, Duke, DeAndre Hopkins, or Rashee Rice. This is going to be Rashee Rice for me.
Yep.
C-Crip, need a defense to stream. Atlanta, Colts, Jets, or Chiefs. I'm going to go Atlanta.
Jets.
Mikey. Wait, did he put anybody else in there? Did he put another follow-up? Oh, there it is. Sorry. I see you. Who should I start at the flex? Jaden Reed, Godwin, or Greg Dortch? I really like Greg Dortch today too, but I'm going to go with.
I'm going to go Dortch.
I'm going to go Jaden Reed, but I was going to say between him and Jaden Reed for me. Greg Dortch still in a good spot with Michael Wilson out for another week, likely return week 15 once they come off bye. Next week, there's only two teams on bye, thankfully, and it is the Commanders and the Cardinals next week. So two of the teams that we like to target, their defenses are off the slate next week. And then we're done. Finally, we'll be done with buys, thankfully, after this week 6, just brutal time to have this many buys. But I'm going to go Jaden Reed here in this matchup against the Chiefs. So where are we at? TX. I have Miami DST starting, but also has Hal as my bye week replacement quarterback. Do I pivot to Russell or Goff or let it ride as is?
I would still go Hal.
Yeah. So I mean, Miami's their biggest thing that like makes you excited about them is the fact of how many sacks that Sam Howell takes. But Sam Howell could still get there. I mean, Sam Howell's been he's been a top 12 quarterback this year.
Yeah.
And so the Dolphins defense could still be a good play, and despite the fact of how still playing Howell, so I don't mind that at all. And then TX against Swift, Ford, or Javonte. This is going to be Javonte for me.
Yeah.
Dirt Bike Addict, PPR. You going Kraft or Hudson? I'm going to go Tucker Kraft.
Kraft.
Oh, it's time. It's time. It's fantasy football time. So glad I started DK. That's what so there's somebody in my home league that already has back one game 120 fantasy points already PPR league. Already has because they had Dak, DK,
DK,
CeeDee Lamb, and Jake Ferguson. 120 points. Like that's the worst. Like we haven't even got to Sunday and your week's over. You're like, all right, well, I fucking lost because how do you overcome? I mean, 120 and the other person still has 6 players left. Unless those 6 players just completely shit the bed. But even if they do, you're likely still going to probably get 30 or 40 out of them. So at the very least, they're looking at like 150, 160. Like it's possible you could still win that. But man, that's like almost defeating and just deflating just to have to face that. Happy it wasn't me. What's up, Raylan? How we doing this football Sunday? I mean, there's football today, so that's how we're doing.
Yep.
The season's already flying by. We're going to be into the NFL playoffs here really quickly, so it's moving really quickly. CHB.
I love how or is the only thing not capitalizing here. And I'm just imagining CHB with the Rashad Penny jersey on, just not drinking his pre-workout, but just just just
Injecting into his
mainlining.
veins.
Just lines on here, and every time we answer a question.
Christian Watson or Puka. I'm gonna go with Puka on this.
I'm gonna go Watson. Let's fire up your boy CHB.
Raylan, Brees Hall, Garrett Wilson, Puka, Nico, or T. Higgins. Pick two. I'm gonna go Nico and Brees Hall.
Yeah, it was Nico or one of the Jets. For me, I'll go Brees with you.
Just a heads up from JR, Burks is now active, so that is good to know.
Changes nothing.
No, absolutely not. Raylan, Kyler Murray, or Jalen Hurts? This is Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
He has been incredible this year, just incredibly consistent. I think he only has like one game all year where he scored less than 20 fantasy points. So
Yeah.
I know everybody's conversation about taking quarterbacks early, like Patrick Mahomes hasn't really worked out the way that we thought Patrick Mahomes would work out, but Jalen Hurts certainly has. Raylan, other than that, I don't have any fantasy questions. Other than that, I lost Mark Andrews, Jonathan Taylor, and Justin Jefferson on my fantasy team. I'm sad and ready to give up.
That's rough.
Yeah, it's been a rough year. At least Justin Jefferson is back next week, so that's positive, right? If you're not out of it, if you're assuming
Depending
you're still in
on Yeah, I was gonna say, depending on when you had your draft, like those could have like easily been your top 3 picks, right? Like Jonathan Taylor dropped down a little bit toward like once we got closer to the beginning of the season, but depending on when you had your draft, very easily could have been your first 3 picks.
Yeah, it's been a really, really strange year for the most part. But over on Twitch, I need help, please. Pick 2, start 8. Swift, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, non PPR. AJ Brown is still a lock.
I'm just gonna start the 2 receivers. When Dallas Goedert's out, Devonta Smith. I think in the past couple of weeks, Smitty has seen like a 30, I think I heard like a 30% target share, and AJ Brown has been like 25%. So I would just, even in non-PPR, I would just start both wide receivers. I mean, you're doubling down on the offense regardless. And Swift has not been great. He's been fine, but I'd rather start the 2 receivers.
I think just from a game theory perspective, I would go AJ Brown and Swift because them both getting there isn't as likely. So I would rather make a bet on which one I think will, and I'm going to make that bet on AJ Brown, and then I think I would go with Swift as the other option. But it's not ideal to have all 3 of these guys as options, though.
Yeah.
Not good at fantasy. Bucks or Browns defense. Concerned about Myles Garrett injury.
If you have both defenses, and Myles Garrett is already good to go. That was kind of put to rest pretty early in the week, so I wouldn't be concerned about that. If you no, never mind. I'm sorry. I'm still going to go Cleveland here. That Tampa Bay defense is extremely banged up right now. I know they're going up against Carolina, but they're going to be without Jamel Dean. They're also going to be without 2 of both their starting linebackers. I think they might have one more injury on their defensive side too. Like without them having White and oh my God, why can't I think of the other David? Jeez. Without Levante David and Devin White at linebacker, Jamel Dean also out. I'm still going to go Cleveland here.
Yeah. Alexis, any chance Cup gets it together for the fantasy playoffs? I'm currently sitting him on my bench, and it hurts. Hope he goes back in the playoffs. I mean, he's back, but uh, not really. I don't. I don't really have a lot of optimism
Yeah,
for him. It's just,
same.
yeah. The tool, Stevenson over Mostert. You lost your mind? No, I'm not out of my mind at all. With Devon Achane back, it's going to limit some things. For Mostert, I mean, yes, the efficiency that they had and a couple of those games were just out. Unless you think they're going to score 70 fucking points again, which I don't, then it changes the math. And when you have Tyreek and Jalen Waddle and all these other options, and the way you attack the Commanders is through the air. It's you can still beat them on the ground, but it's certainly through the air. Stevenson, I can easily project for far more touches, and that's what matters the most to me. Seeing him see 20 touches is well within the range of possibility. Mostert is not. With Achane back, it changes how things are how they're going to utilize these two running backs. It doesn't mean that Mostert's in a bad spot, but he's not as exciting compared to someone like Stevenson, who's been seeing a 15 to 20% target share over the last month, which is far more important to me, where Mostert is not really heavily utilized in the passing game. And so that's where it just becomes easy to play Ramondre Stevenson in a matchup against the Chargers. So, yeah, give me Stevenson easily on that.
Ashton coming through with the super chat. Appreciate you, my guy. Cade Otton or Jawan Johnson. I'm still going to go Jawan Johnson here, even with with Olave back and playing. They're still limited on on the options they have on the offensive side of the ball. So I'm still going to go. I'm going to go Johnson over Cade Otton here.
I'm going to go Cade Otton.
Lions also going to be without Alex Anzalone at linebacker, which I think could have an impact.
Yeah, I don't mind it if you want to go Juwan Johnson, but yeah. Connor, Farley, Cooper Kupp, Calvin Ridley, Kyron Williams, or Jahmyr Gibbs. Start 3, bench 1. Bench 1, I'm going to bench Cooper Kupp.
Cooper. God, that's so sad how easy that answer is for me. Could you imagine if we had this question like week 1? If I said, "Hey, man, week 13, we're just easily going to say Cooper Kupp to sit, like without no question, no hesitation."
It's tough too because I mean the ceiling is there, right? The ceiling is there for Cooper Kupp. Like he's shown it earlier in the year. I just don't have any faith.
Not right now. I need to
Right.
see one of those ceiling games before I consider him anything more than wide receiver 3.
Fire James Franklin.
We can't. We don't have enough time to get started on this tool. I'll just say that I don't disagree, and we're gonna move on because we're already behind. Gonna get me off track real. The next hour would be dedicated to Penn State football.
Drew, what's going on? Drew, need to pick 3 of these 5 half-point PPR. Breeze, Hollywood, Joe Mixon, Achane, Deontay. Also have Josh Downs and Jaden Reed if that changes anything. So 3 of these, I'm going to go with Achane, Brees Hall, and I'm going to go Deontay.
I'm with you.
I kind of thought about Josh Downs and Reed because I like both of them a lot too, but Deontay Johnson's hard to sit. Saying like a 25% target share, really good matchup. So I do.
Yeah,
Actually,
I thought about Downs over Brees Hall because I think there's more of a ceiling there.
yeah. Supper Kelly. 2 running. Is that 2 running backs in a flex or yeah? I assume. Oh, yeah, it has to be. So sit 1, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna sit Gibbs.
Ooh. I'm gonna sit Monty on this one. I just want to split the. It's possible both of them could get there. I mean, it's certainly range possibility that that happens. But I just with the option you have here, I would play Bijan, Mostert, and Gibbs. But totally understand the call if you want to talk about and go Monty here. It's really, to me, I think when it comes down to, like I've said, like it comes down to how you feel how this game is going to play out. If you think the Lions whip the Saints, Monty's easy call because it's in that game script. Monty's going to see way more touches. They're not going to, because we saw kind of Gibbs fall down a little, or way this is going to play out is basically the last time they played the Packers, they fell behind. Gibbs played way more percent of the snaps, but Monty still handled more of the touches as in the running game. So it's really just kind of game script here. If you feel like the Saints are going to be able to keep this game close, then Gibbs makes more sense. If you don't think they will be able to, and you think they fall behind, Monty's the easy play. So to me, it comes down to just how you feel like this game is going to play out.
Yeah.
Adam, flex one at PPR, Hubbard, Dortch, or Curtis Samuel. I'm going to go Curtis Samuel.
Curtis Samuel. It's close between Samuel and Dortch for me.
One for my for my wide receiver 2 in flex spot: Downs, Higgins, Dobbs, Cooper, Rice, Connor, or AJ Dillon. So Rice is a lock for me, and then I'm going to go with Josh Downs.
Rice and Downs.
Sad to see what's happening. Cooper, I would love to play him, but I have no clue what to think about Joe Flacco.
Mm-mm.
Wait, was there a different part in here? Just defense. Okay. Atlanta or Tampa Bay. This is going to be Atlanta for me.
Atlanta.
Thank you for the help. Just found y'all and subscribed. We appreciate it. If you are new here, we do appreciate the support. If you could, just click that little subscribe button. We appreciate it. And if you want to hit that like button, we appreciate that too. But here to try to answer every single one of your questions to get you guys ready to go. Sports Spotlight. Start one at flex, one at wide receiver. Noah Brown, Marquise Brown, Trey McBride, Chuba Hubbard, PPR. So I'm going to flex Trey McBride, and I'm going to play more. Oh, man. I don't know. I want to play both. Yeah, I'm going to do it.
I mean, I don't want to double down on that Arizona offense, but with those options, that's where I'm going to go. I just don't know what to expect with Noah Brown getting in 2 limiteds and then being DNP on Friday. Kev, like you've talked about already, this is going to be one of the first times we've seen all 3 of them healthy on the field at the same time, so I don't know what to do about that either. If Noah Brown were healthy, I'd feel good about him operating from the flex. I mean, from the slot, right? But I don't know. So I'm just going to go Marquise and Trey.
Yeah, I mean, I think if the question would be between Marquise Brown and Chuba Hubbard. I mean, we've seen Chuba Hubbard be able to have some decent games. He's involved in a little bit in the passing game, but I just hate that offense. And the Bucs have been good against the run this year, so that doesn't give me a lot of hope either. He could find the end zone. It's certainly possible, but I think I just go with Marquise Brown and Trey McBride. Like I said, I don't love playing 2 Cardinals together, but I can't sit Trey McBride. He's a top 5 tight end for me this week, and then Marquise Brown can get there. Matthew, full PPR, pick 2, Hollywood, Downs, or Puka.
Downs and Puka.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, we already got that one.
HP. Good to see HP in here. Been a while.
Yeah, good to see you, HP. Need 2 of the following: Marquise, Javonte, Raishi, Garrett Wilson. So Raishi Rise for me.
And Javonte.
Yeah, then I'm going to go Javonte Williams. Yeah.
Already got that one.
That is correct. Joe, good morning. Fire him up. Oh, I see him coming up. Let's get to a couple of these really quickly. Tam, our man Tam, good morning. Please pick one, Nico or Laporta. I'm going to go Nico. I would love to play both of these. I really like both of these guys, but
I'm gonna go Laporta here. Really, really close though.
yeah. Jim, In a PPR, need one wide receiver: Noah Brown, Devontae Parker, or Godwin. And at one tight end, Juwan Johnson, Hunter Henry, or Tyler Higbee.
I'm gonna go Juwan and Noah Brown.
Another. Imagine saying that at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
I'm gonna still go with Godwin. Like, if you're looking for like a player, like I obviously with Demario Douglas out, it says it really it's still the Patriots offense. The Patriots have been so dreadful, right? And so it's tough to trust that offense at all. But the way I look, like, I know Godwin hasn't been great, but he still should see probably 5 or 6 targets there. Noah Brown is I think if you're just shooting for ceiling, I think you go Noah Brown because we've seen it. Like, we've seen him have these monster days, and with Tank Dell really banged up, like the math could change really quickly. They're also without Dalton Schultz. Robert Woods has been kind of a nothing. So, I think Noah Brown has the ceiling that you're looking for, but the floor is probably with Godwin. I think the way that I would look at that. So I would just kind of assess where my team's at and what I need this week, and then at tight end, I'm going to go Juwan Johnson. Though of the Patriots, he is the one that I like. If I was going to play a Patriot, it's Hunter Henry. I think the way that I would go it. So
Appreciate you, HP. Thank you for the super sticker.
yeah, we 100% appreciate that
For sure. Good to see you back in here.
Yes, let's get
Not
that
just
dub
because
this
of
week.
that, but
Yeah. Let's see. Joe, I think that was Mostert, Swift, ETN, Warren, start 2. This is going to be ETN.
and Mostert.
This is really like the cluster of running backs that I have all these guys with. So
Yeah. Swift would be at the bottom of the cluster for me.
yeah, it's really close. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go with ETN, and I'm gonna go with Warren, and then I think we already got that one. Yeah, we got that. Are we starting Keenan Allen if he plays? Yes.
Yeah. I mean, not a great game environment, just with the game in general now with the weather concerns, but I can't imagine you have an option that is like if you have one that was like close to Keenan Allen, I don't mind sitting him in that scenario just because of everything going on with this game, but can't imagine that's the case.
Right, and with the very limited lack of options they have to throw the ball to, I mean, it's possible he sees 15 targets today. So it's really hard to imagine sitting him. And then Jalen, Achane, or Hollywood, PPR. I'm going to go Achane.
Yeah.
Hoosier, how's it going? Starting off down 44. Geno Smith starting Goff or Murray.
I said Murray for that one. If I'm down 44, I want to swing. Murray hasn't been great as a passer, but he's been getting there as a rusher. Obviously, we can't say that about Goff. You have Goff on the road as well. So I said Murray.
I'm going to go Goff. I get it. But Goff has been he's been pretty easily able to project for the most part. He really only has like 2 games all year where he's like been a ceiling play where he scored 27 week 5 against Carolina and then 24 against Seattle. It's just that game environment. I like that game environment a little more inside the dome, the on the road against the Saints. So I would just slightly lean towards Goff. And then one running back, it's going to be Singletary for me, and then I'm going to flex DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, we're the same outside of the quarterback call.
Marcus, Cleveland, the Colts or Jags? I'm going to go with the Browns.
Yeah.
KJ, better full PPR start, Justin Herbert or Kyler Murray? I am in the same spot as you there, KJ, and I went with Justin Herbert.
I would go Murray. I'm in a guillotine league, and I am looking at picking up and starting Sam Howell over Justin Herbert right now.
Thing is, like Herbert has been pretty. I mean, and we've actually started to see him run the ball a lot more. He had 8 carries for 73 yards against the Packers, and then he also had another 4 for 47 last week. That does, I think, kind of close the gap a little bit on what you're going to be saying with Kyler Murray. And obviously, I think his passing ceiling is higher than than Kyler Murray. So I'm just going to go Justin Herbert. I know it's kind of a gross matchup, but I kind of feel the same way for Kyler Murray as well. It's kind of a gross matchup against the Steelers on the road, and so I'm just going to lean towards Justin Herbert. Uh, Good morning. Start Josh Downs or Brees Hall.
This one's really close for me. I lean Brees by a smidge.
Yeah, I feel like they can get there without it. Or I feel like this is a game script that should stay close, where Brees should be able to see a lot of touches. 14 teams or week 14, 2 teams on bye. Yeah, Washington, Arizona. Yeah, so at least we're almost done with the bye weeks. Who should I start? Brevin Jordan since Schultz is out, or should I start? I'm guessing Brevin Jordan since Schultz is out, or Kate Otten. I'm gonna go Kate Otten.
Kate Otten. I'd be more excited about Brevin Jordan if like Noah Brown were out, if they held Tank Dell out, but with them being at full strength, I lean on.
Yeah. And also with Ashley here, he put in the link to the super chat, or not super chat, the Discord. I'm sorry, where it is always popping in there. There is a lot of conversations going on. If you need question answered, whatever. During waiver week, you want to, who should you pick up, whatever. It's pretty strong community. It's absolutely free. We don't need anything in reserve. You just go in, click that link, and you're in, and that's it. That's all we ask for. Don't ask for anything else. It's just little pretty solid fantasy football community that we're trying to build over there, and it's gotten stronger and stronger as the years went on this year. So we'd love to see that. So like I said, absolutely free if you wish to do though. CHB, my desired choice of pre-workout is called Venom.
Also switch the Abby.
Yeah, see that? Slid that in there.
Love it.
Porter, Rashee Rice, number 4 on Chiefs or Noah Brown.
I'm gonna take number 4 on the Chiefs.
I don't know why we needed to throw in the number there, Porter, but
so everyone knows.
But yeah, it's definitely Rashee Rice for sure. Murdoch. I can't say it like Cody.
Murdoch.
McBride or Puka in the flex. I have Laporta and everyone else is on bye.
Oh.
It's crazy how hot Puka Nacua was to start the year, and now we're like, this is where we're at with him too.
Yeah.
I think I go Puka.
That's where I'm leaning as well. Don't feel great about it, but that's where I'm leaning.
Did we already get this one there for HP? Pick one defense. If not, it's Browns.
No, it's Jets for me.
Millie, Deontay, or McLaurin. I'm leaning towards Terry for the safe play, but Arizona sucks, so I don't know who to play. That is true. They do suck.
I'm going Deontay. If there are any commanders that I'm playing this week outside of Sam Howell, it is Curtis Samuel and Logan Thomas. I think Dotson and McLaurin have a rough go on the outside, especially with Ramsey back. So I'm going Deontay here.
Yeah.
They're close. I think I have Deontay like as a back end 2 and McLaurin is like a high end 3. So like they're close for me, but I like the spot that Deontay's in.
I like this spot that Deontay's in. I do like George Pickens a lot too. They've really struggled to stop the deep ball. We've kind of seen last week that the Steelers kind of changed the way that they were doing things, which obviously brought Patty Fry to relevancy finally this year. I'm gonna go with Terry McLaurin mainly because of I think there's a real good shot they're gonna be trailing the entire game. They're gonna be in a much higher probably passing game script. It is close. I really
Sure.
like both of them as options this week, but I'm going to slightly lean towards Terry McLaurin. Big Truz, Rashad White or Tank Dell. Keenan and Amon-Ra are my receivers, and Kyrie and Kamara are my running backs. Jettas and Jacobs are not playing this week, but the rest of the year will be difficult to know to start. Absolutely. You're going to be some decisions to make there with these guys.
I lean Tank, but that one's close.
I'm going to go Rashad White.
I'm good with that too.
Just with Rashad White, he sees such an incredible usage rate, right? And like I said, he's been one of the safest running backs. He's been a top 24 scorer in 10 of the 12, or I think it's 9 of the 11 games they played this year so far. So, um, it's tough not to really like Rashad White. Like he's been able to get there. Herbert or Kyler? We've already answered this one. It's going to be Herbert for me, Kyler for Cody. T Law or Stroud? I have T Law in the moment. I would go Stroud. Like they're I don't mind if you want to go Trevor Lawrence, in a probably a better matchup because the Broncos defense, or excuse me,
They've turned it around.
yes, have turned it around. But you could also make an argument that it's tough because there's that CJ Stroud has pretty much got there almost every game through most teams they played. But they did have that little bump in the road where it was games against like the Panthers and stuff like that where they struggled a little bit. I would probably I still think I go CJ Stroud, but Trevor Lawrence is right there with them. So
I lean T Law. Really, really close. Really close.
yeah. Big Truz, Cup, Kirk, Sutton, Brees, Achan, Warren, 2 wide receivers, 1 running back, and a flex. Kamara's a lock. Yep. So for me, that's going to be Achan, the running back, and then I'm going to go with Sutton.
I'm gonna get. Oh, we need 2 wide receivers.
Yeah.
Sutton and Kirk,
And then
and
I'm
then Achan and Warren.
gonna go Achan and Brees, but I definitely get it.
Also,
Tyler.
I love the Steelers at the beginning of the season and just hate them now. So take anything positive I say about the Steelers with a grain of salt.
Tyler, Rams or Dolphins, dude? This is gonna be Dolphins.
Dolphins.
And then Jaden Reed or Calvin Ridley. I'm gonna go Calvin Ridley. As much as I love Jaden Reed.
Tyler, can you let us know who you meant? Because down here I see he said, "Sorry, I meant Rice." But who do you mean? If you just want to drop that last part in again, so we know who you're talking about.
Ugly start sit question for our running backs: Hunt or Samaje Perine? I'm gonna go with Samaje Perine.
I'm gonna go P Ryan as well.
Big Trust, Cup, Nakua, or Garrett Wilson for wide receiver. Eckler, Kyron, Gibbs, Monty, Moss for 2 running backs. Any leftover player from flex.
Puka. Golly.
And then it's going to be Eckler, Kyron, and Zach Moss. But if you don't want to, I don't know, man. I can't. How do you sit both of those Lions running backs?
I know. But I think I'm with you.
Like
Actually,
if there was a running back that actually of this group that I think you could sit would probably be Austin Eckler. And maybe that's crazy to say, but Austin Eckler does not look right. I don't know what is going on with him. But he almost looks like a fullback out there right now. And like he has not been great. He has not been utilized heavily in the passing game, but that could be different today. Uh, I still think you play Austin Eckler, but he just hasn't been the same guy. I mean, really recently. I mean, the last 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, he's looked pretty bad. And so, but I still think I slightly lean towards. But if I was going to sit with him, because Kyron, I mean, the dude sees such an incredible workload, and then Zach Moss in the same boat. You know what? I'm gonna go with more of the sure thing that I'm gonna go Gibbs instead of Moss. I'm gonna go Eckler, Kyron, and Gibbs. That's what I'm gonna do. Change my mind right on the spot. But I can see how fresh. This is a really solid group of running
yeah.
backs you have here.
I'm gonna go Eckler, Kyron, and Moss. And then it was Rice or Ridley for Tyler. I'm gonna go Ridley.
I'm gonna go Rice. Let's see.
We already know.
Who's your football in 2024? I mean, I saw the rumors out there that John Gruden was, going to be the next head coach for the Hoosiers. That didn't come to fruition.
Oh God.
And now the rumors are circling back that the Raiders are interested in bringing him back as the head coach. Which I guess that would get them out of having to pay him all this money they're paying him. So, Mr. Tress, my boys, full PPR. I have McBride in my lineup with the injury status this week going up against Pittsburgh defense that's harsh against tight ends. Thinking about leaning Christian Watson or Deontay Johnson. Thoughts? I'm still going to go Trey McBride. I think he's good to go, but I think it's
Yeah,
close.
if we're just picking one out of this group, I would still lean McBride.
Yeah.
Trace, who are you starting at? If you're still rocking with us, who are you starting at tight end?
Yeah, because it comes down to me like a tight end. You better have Travis Kelce, George Kittle, end of
Laporta.
list for me. I mean, Laporta is obviously in the conversation, but and then BD Allen, Christian Watson, or George Pickens, full PPR. I'm going to be George Pickens, but I'm going to guess you're going to be Christian Watson.
I'm gonna go Watson.
Yeah. Zach Attack. Pacheco or Thielen, Taysom Hill or McBride, and Howe or T-Law.
Pacheco, McBride, T-Law.
I agree, though I do kind of like Thielen this week, but especially with just how bad that secondary is for the Bucks. But
yeah,
I'm gonna go Pacheco with it was looking like Jerick McKinnon might be able to play, so I actually was starting to lower Isaiah Pacheco back down a little bit, but with him out, he goes right back up. With McKinnon out, we saw him last week. He had 80% of the snaps, like 75% of the rush attempts. He actually saw his biggest workload as a pass catcher as well. So great matchup for Pacheco. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with Pacheco there on that too, and then McBride, and then T-Law for me. Carr or Minshew this week with Olave playing. I'm gonna go Derek Carr.
Carr.
Woolen, the GOAT. Puka or Christian Watson. I'm gonna go with Puka.
Puka.
Harold. I think we've answered this one, but it was a long time ago.
I think Harold put Samuel in the mix. I think it was just the last three. I would go Samuel here. I think we said Reed. I will go Samuel over Reed.
I'm personally still going to go Jaden Reed, but I totally get it. The matchup is definitely there for Curtis Samuel. That's how you beat the Dolphins, is on the inside slot. I'm just going to stick with Jaden Reed on this one. I need a second wide receiver: Christian Watson, Terry McLaurin, or Chris Godwin. I'm going to go Terry McLaurin, and that's yeah.
I think McLaurin's safer, but if you went up against some of those buzzsaws on Thursday night, I wouldn't mind throwing the dart at Christian Watson. So that one to me kind of just depends on what you need in your lineup.
Yeah. Marcus, McLaurin, or Rice. This is Raishi Rice.
Rice.
Tony, good morning. Football
TV.
or DST. I'm going to go with the Browns. You're going to go with the Jets. I think this has been one of the really popular ones.
Yeah.
Both are really
Love the
strong plays.
Jets.
Both are top 5 defenses this week. So you can't. I don't think you can go wrong with either one of them. I think both of them are in really good spots. So Adam, morning. Mahomes or Stroud? This is going to be Mahomes.
Yep.
Green Bay weather may be a factor. I don't think this game is even on the radar. It's going to snow in Green Bay on Sunday, with models showing a healthy burst of snow in the hours leading up to the game. By game time, though, the precipitation should be cleared out. No more falling snow, with temps around freezing and light winds. I don't expect any real impact. And for the record, Mahomes is a notorious snow game guy. He loves playing in the snow, so he talks about that all the time. But anyways, I'm not worried about that. I'm going Mahomes. Rigby, Downs, or Puka?
There's Puka by a smidge for me. I just don't know if I know that Downs saw 13 targets last week, but I don't know if that's going to be the game environment to push the Colts to like that type of drop back percentage.
Yeah. Over on Twitch again, is Thielen washed for the rest of the season? No, I don't think he's washed. Now, just bad, really, really bad quarterback play. And they've kind of
bad everything.
Yeah, it's just the whole situation needs to be exploded, and the owner needs to sell too. I mean that all the stuff that's coming out about him. I guess they're really wanting Ben Johnson. Apparently, there's rumors coming out that people within that organization of the Panthers are, messaging Ben Johnson and saying, "Don't do it. There's way too much."
That's bad.
Yeah, it's bad. Like I truly believe that Reich and most of the coaches wanted C.J. Stroud, that Tepper wanted Bryce Young, and he seems like the guy that there's been a lot of stuff about. He's like intervening within things, like he makes the final decision, even like certain plays that he wants to run. He's made them, like he has told them, like he comes down and tells them that he saw these plays, the other teams have played, they want them to do these plays. Yeah. Like it is a mess. Like that is not how an owner should ever be. Owner should just be there for the financial support, and that should be about it. So it is an absolute dumpster fire over there. And if I was Ben Johnson, which he could have been a head coach last year, and he turned it down to stay with the Lions. There's no shot in hell I could see him going to the Panthers in this situation. So, anyways, but yeah, for the rest of the season, I think Thielen is okay. I think it's really going to be matchup dependent. This is a good matchup for him, but so. And then over on Twitch again, Fresh Prince need to sit 2 of these guys at full PPR: Chase Allen, St. Brown, Dell, Nakua. Really solid group.
You need to sit 2.
I'm not sitting Keenan, or I'm not sitting Amon St. Brown, and I'm not sitting Keenan Allen.
I'm going to sit Chase and Puka.
Yeah. I'm going to sit Puka and Tank Dell. That's tough. I'd hate to be you every week trying to make these decisions, because it's always going to feel like you probably got it wrong.
It's a good problem to have.
For sure. Split Kiwi, good morning. Full PPR. Are you taking Najee or Breece Hall as RB2? I'm going to go Breece, but it is close. I really like Najee Harris. Najee and Jalen Warren are both top 20 running backs for me.
I'm going to go Najee.
C. Chaff, sit 1. Williams, Ford, Bijan, Dave Montgomery, or Noah Brown or Higgins. So we're just sitting 1. I'm going to sit Higgins.
So I think we're sitting one of those running backs and then one of those receivers, I think.
Okay, well, I'm going to sit Higgins. I'm assuming that's Javonte Williams.
I would assume. Man, I think I'm going to sit Ford out of that group.
Yeah, I would have loved him a lot more if Kareem Hunt were to miss this week. Like it was looking like possibly he missed Wednesday and Thursday practice, but he was able to come back, and now he doesn't have an injury designation, so he's back. But that's frustrating because I was really hoping that we were going to get that. But I would probably sit forward too.
Another good problem to have.
And then Joe, T. Law, ETN, Mostert, AJ Brown, Chase, Dell, Kelsey in my lineup with Stroud, Swift, Warren, Downs, and Laporta on my bench. How does that look? And thank you for how you do. I think I leave that. I don't think there's anything there that I would change.
Yeah, I think I leave it too.
Elite team, Kirk or Achan at flex. This is going to be Achan for me.
Achan.
ZXKK. Pacheco or...
I think
we already
we
answered
did
that?
this one already. Yeah.
But if you didn't see it, Pacheco, McBride, and Law is what we went with.
Yeah.
That would have been bad. Almost kicked him out. Like there's a little button that's close to there that I clicked it and almost clicked the wrong one. Jimmy, sit one today. Half PPR, Brees Hall, Jalen Warren, or James Conner. I'm sitting James Conner.
Sitting Connor.
Buddy Moon. Oh, look at that. That is
Jackie Moon.
That is a beautiful dog there too in that picture. Half point PPR flex, Christian Kirk, Thielen, or Deontay Johnson. I'm gonna go with Thielen here.
Yeah.
Harold, Bucker, or Gay. Thanks. I'm gonna go Bucker.
Bucker. And Jackson Jones coming through with the $1 super sticker. Nick Chubb or Kenneth Walker. I would pick up Arian Foster and start him over both.
Jackson, I'm gonna call your dad and let him know that you're spending his hard-earned money on this type of stuff.
I was gonna say baseball kid.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, yeah.
But I'm definitely picking up Arian Foster.
Yeah. Jose, crazy week, 12 team PPR, start 3. Kamara, Kyron Williams, ETN, Zach Moss. Truly have no idea.
Oh, Lord.
I'm going to go Kamara, Kyron, and ETN.
Now I'm going to sit Zach Moss there.
We already answered that one.
Yeah. Yep. We're split.
Who's your IU hired Signetti from James? Yeah, I just saw prior to that there was some speculation going around, and then RIP Georgia Bulldogs. Yep,
that's part of the reason why we were 15 minutes late to start the streams, because we were talking about the college football playoff and what's going to happen.
But actually, that's a good question. We should have asked that before. I'm just curious what people's thoughts are. Who do you guys think should be the top 4? Because for me, it should be. I'm not going to get into the whole conversation. I just like to see what everybody else's thought is. I think it should obviously Michigan and Washington are locks for sure. And then I think Texas deserves to be in. And then I think the 4th, I would probably go with Alabama. I know people really think it should be Florida State, but I just think with no quarterback and the situation that's going on, and all that, if we're talking about the best 4 teams, Florida State shouldn't be in it because nobody wants to watch another TCU situation unfold that we saw last year. Because that was brutal. What was it, like 65-14 or whatever it was? Like nobody wants to see that. So I know it sucks for Florida State, but I think that's what it should be. But let us know what are the 4 you guys think it should be if you guys have been paying attention. Leo, Nakua, Cup, Chase, or I'm thinking that's Bijan Robinson. Pick 2 non PPR, one wide receiver spot, and 1 other flex.
If that's Bijan, I'm going to go Puka and Bijan. If that's Brian Robinson, I'm going to go Puka and Chase.
Same. If it's Bijan, I'm going Bijan for sure at the flex, and then I'll go Chase If it's not, then I'll go Nakua and Chase. So just wanted to say that. 999 Biscuit, White Moss, Henry Kyron, start 3. This is going to be Kyron, Derrick Henry, and Zach Moss. I think. Let me see. Hold on. It's close because I have all these guys pretty high. Where do I have Rachaad White? Actually, no, take that back. I'm going to go.
I'm going to sit Moss.
Yeah, I'm going to go White, Henry, Kyron. Fred, Christian Watson, or Deontay Johnson. I'm going to go Deontay Johnson.
Deontay.
I know where you people live. All right, I will come to your house.
Ooh, looks like might be some extra sprints, some laps around the old diamond.
Yeah, and Bryson's grounded.
Is that why he has to say hi from you through him?
No, they're all at one of their houses. So yeah. Alex, flex play, Sutton, Javonte, or Dylan. I'm gonna go Cortland Sutton.
We go Javonte.
Flex, Jameson or Dortch. Ooh, I kind of like Jameson Williams as as a dart throw, but I'm gonna go with Dortch. He's seen like 17 or 18 targets each of the last 2 games. That's what I'm gonna go with.
Yeah.
12 team PPR, Herbert or Stroud. This is gonna be Stroud.
Stroud.
Joe, 9-3 this year with your help. Thanks again. No, thank you, Joe, for tuning in and watching. Couldn't do this without you. Kirk, did we already answer this one? Kirk, Hollywood, Thielen, Reed, full PPR, pick 2.
We did not.
This is going to be Thielen
and Reed for me.
Agreed. Over on the Twitch. Buddy Moon. No, I'm just going to half point PPR, Javonte or Brees Hall. This is going to be Brees Hall for me.
Not going to be any help here to you, Buddy Moon. I'm going to go Javonte.
Well, if it's any consolation, that is a beautiful dog. Once again, there, Buddy Moon. Flappo over on Twitch again. Deontay or AJ Dillon. This is going to be Deontay.
Deontay.
Hector, Nico or Mixon.
Nico.
Yeah, Nico for sure. Jose, 12-team PPR, start 2. Chase, Waddle, Pittman. Oh, my Lord. I'm going to sit Jamar Chase.
Sitting Chase.
I love both these wide receivers this week. So. TMG 007. Puka or Fryermuth in my flex. I'm going to go with Puka.
Puka by a smidge. I don't feel great, but I also don't want to chase last week's results for Patty.
Put in reverse, Terry. Yeah, pick 2. Still one of my all-time favorite moments. That I don't know why, but that is forever who you're going to be, Terry. Sorry.
That dog is 9 months old. My God. Oh, at 9 months old, he already weighed $130.
Yeah, that's what I thought was. I couldn't see clearly, but I thought that's what it was a Cane Corso.
Yeah,
those dogs are beautiful.
My God. Yeah, I would love to have one of those. They're just such badass dogs.
Yes. You don't even. You don't even need a gun if someone tries to break in your house with one of those dogs. You see that coming up to you, you're out. Deuces, and hope you get away. Terry.
Dylan Smitty.
Yeah, I agree. Bucks defense or Miami defense?
Miami.
Correct. We'll see who's laughing, Jackson, next week. Mikey 5.8, Gibbs, Monty, Achan, or Warren. Full PPR, choose 2.
How do all these teams have both Lions running backs? I'm gonna go Monty and Achan.
I'm gonna go Gibbs and Achan. At least we can agree on one thing.
It's
If
a
you,
Lions
if you
running
and
back.
just really quickly once again, as this we've I think I've said this a couple times, but if you weren't in here because we've had this question so much, between Gibbs and Monty, what it really comes down to for me, it comes down to how I feel like this game script will play out. If you think the Lions crush the Saints, then I think Monty is just an easy call, just because he is going to be much more utilized in the run game versus Jahmyr Gibbs. But if you think the game stays close, I think that bodes much better for Jahmyr Gibbs, especially in full PPR format. So to me, that's what it would come down to. I would look at how you feel like this game is going to turn out, and if just go with that. So Mordenheim, Singletary, or Nico at a half point PPR. I'm going to go with Nico Collins.
I'm gonna go Singletary here.
I don't hate it. I really like Singletary. Started to grow on me a lot. Great matchup. Broncos have been just terrible against the run this year. So Singletary is actually in a pretty good spot here this week. So I like that call too. But
Yeah, I'm
I
just
just
I'm just taking it out. This is just a volume play for me.
Daryl, hello guys. Puka, Garrett Wilson, or Tank Dell. I have to start one.
Dell.
Yeah, I still think you go take Dell here, even though I'm a little bit lower on him, probably in the consensus this week. But yeah. Dude in my league just quit because we had to remind him to pick up a kicker, and he didn't.
God,
His team sucks, so he stopped caring.
it's the worst.
Especially this time of the year when teams are trying to get to the playoffs, stuff like that, and or like buys and all that stuff come into play. And when you're just playing a team that doesn't even try, like it is super frustrating because it just kind of ruins the league. At this point, I would just kick him out of the league after this year and just keep it moving because
Yeah.
it's just doesn't do anything for anybody. Finn, Purdy or Mahomes, 4 points for touchdowns. Bad weather in Green Bay. I don't the weather we've already went over it. The weather looks pretty good in Green Bay. So it's gonna snow all day, but it's supposed to stop before the game starts, which so it doesn't really bother me.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Mahomes, but I get it with Purdy. Like Purdy is a really strong play. He's a top 5 quarterback this week too.
Yeah. Still slightly lean Mahomes though.
Yeah.
It's close.
Dell over Chase. Denver's pass defense doesn't concern you all. Well, what does
Denver's
concern
pass
me.
defense. Yeah, I was just gonna say Denver's pass defense concerns me less than Jake Browning.
Yes,
That's what that's what it
that's where
comes
the
down
problem
to.
comes in.
Yeah,
Uh,
especially
this
with T Higgins back this week.
yes.
You know, what I mean, like I don't know.
Like if you like Terry, like, and this is what I'll say. Like, obviously it's your fans team, so you gotta do what you gotta do. And like, if your gut tells you go with Chase over
Yeah,
Dell, go for it. That's all I can say. Like at the end of the day,
we're wrong
uh,
all the time.
yes, if I was 100% right all the time, be rich because I would just be just winning every DraftKings every single week, just taking them all down every single time. So if that's where it's laying you, and I could get on board with that because like I said, I have moved down Tank Dell for sure, and with his injury and everything else that's going on there, like yes, this could be a trap game where this game doesn't shoot out and doesn't really have the total that everyone thinks that it does. And with all these other weapons here with the Texans, it could definitely go the opposite direction. And so, like, I don't mind it. Like, if you want to go Chase, I mean, Chase could still see 12, 15 targets, something like that, with him being the only guy in town. Obviously, Higgins is back, so that changes the math a little bit. But, uh, I could get on board with going Chase over Dell for sure. Chuck, McBride, or Ingram, who to start, full PPR. This is going to be McBride for me.
McBride.
Watson or Deontay to PPR. I'm going to go Deontay.
Yep. Sit Dell.
Start to Olave Devontae. Yep, I'm going to sit Tank Dell. Mr. Bakes a Lot. What's good, Mr. Bakes a Lot? Flex, Pitts, Algier, Gainwell, or Boyd. I'm gonna go Pitts. I would ask, like, if is a Greg Dortch sitting out there? Jalen Guyton is another guy that I actually like as kind of a dart throw this week. I haven't really talked about him that I think you could look at, especially with. I mean, Quentin Johnson is Quentin Johnson. I think he's got a dead, but full PPR. But Jalen Guyton, I think, is somebody that I kind of like as well. If Zay Jones were to be sitting out there, I would rather play him in a spot. I would say Elijah Moore. I highly doubt he's sitting out there. But if he was, Jameson Williams, are all options like Tucker Kraft. It's just I don't. So like Algier, now Cordell Patterson's mixing in, but we've also seen them really move more towards to Bijan Robinson as the guy. Gainwell. Don't really know what to expect. Boyd is now the third, fourth target option with T. Higgins back, so don't really love that. I think Kyle Pitts is the one that makes the most sense here of these options, but I don't love it.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson or Curtis Samuel. This is gonna be Garrett Wilson.
By a smidge. Yeah, that's really that one's close for me. I really like Samuel this week.
And Terry, all three shows that I previously asked this morning agreed with Dell over Chase. I was just worried about Noah Brown returning. I figured the Bengals would be throwing from behind. Definitely more than likely, yes.
Yeah.
But we've also seen Tank Dell and how good he's been, right? I mean, he's been incredible. And so one has CJ Stroud, the other one has Jake Browning. And also, Terry, are you saying that we're like the sloppy set, fourths here? That we were the fourth show that you asked? That's what I heard from this. So,
yep.
That being
said,
put
it reverse and go back to the other shows.
Yeah, there, Terry. Rude. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. Well, that being said, that is the last question. We are only about 20 minutes away from lock. Probably have some things to do before then to get our week ready. So appreciate that. Mr. Bakes a lot. D'Ernest, Justin Watson, Guyton, and Quentin Johnson are available.
I think I like D'Ernest Johnson here.
I would go Jalen Guyton, but that's more of a dart throw to see what he can do. Because he's had a 15% target share each of the last two games. If you feel like you buy into the narrative that the Patriots are going to try to take away Keenan Allen and bracket coverage will try to take him away, then Jalen Guyton becomes that guy that I think that likely sees a decent target share. And so I would lean Jalen Guyton here as an option. I'm playing him some in DFS this week as well as kind of a dart throw play as well. So. And then obviously Justin Watson, I think you can make a case, but it's not for me. So, no condom, Chris, love that. That's a good name. A.T. Perry or Royce Freeman? I'm gonna go A.T. Perry.
You already know what you're getting from Chris here. I would go Royce, but
yeah. No, all just airs at a later time, but I'll put that comment in reverse. Sure. It's all good, Terry. Just giving you our time.
Like this, we know you're probably seeing other people. We just don't want to know about it. All right,
yeah,
make us feel special.
Yeah, tell us we're the only one.
Talk to No Condom Chris.
Yeah,
probably has some good advice for you.
And Bryce Ridley. My life in Thielen or Deontay? I'm going to go with Thielen.
Thielen by a smidge. I do have Thielen ranked higher than Deontay.
I think this is what this is for.
Appreciate you, Chuck.
Yeah. Hollywood or Deontay?
Deontay over Hollywood.
Yep. Paul, Puka, or Nico? This is going to be Nico.
Nico.
KGM. That's what we're going with.
There we go.
McBride or Taysom Hill, full PPR. This is going to be McBride.
We're going to McBride and Chase.
With the Jimmy Butler. I love it every time. Abby, tough loss last night. How do you lose to the Pacers? I don't know. Allow 140 points. Another conversation for another day. A Cup or Chase. This is going to be Chase.
Yep. Well, if it makes you feel any better, Penn State basketball lost to fucking Bucknell yesterday, who were 2-7 coming into the game. So
Yeah.
Jets.
TX, Rams, Browns, Jets. I'm gonna be Browns. Cody's gonna be Jets. That's one we've had a lot today. But like I said, both are top 5 options. So with that being said, I think that is the last question. I was gonna go ahead and get out of here. Hope everybody has a good day. Let's get some wins this week. We'll see you tonight for the Week 14 waiver wire ads with only 2 teams on bye. So that is a positive. So love to see that. So gonna go ahead and get out of here. Just when we thought McBride or Ingram, it's gonna be McBride for me.
Yep.
And too hype. Mixon, Hall, Ford, and Thielen pick 3. This is going to
Mixon.
be, sit Mixon. Agreed. Anyways, have a good night or have a good day. We'll see you all again tonight for the waiver show. Hopefully, everybody runs pure. Hope everybody gets their W's this week and no injuries. Hopefully, usually
Brees.
Never that positive. Yes, absolutely, Brees. Bye.